But these are the things that we found to be really useful in the first 3 months that we've had Malika, and we tried to put things on the list that we think will be useful even moving forward. Hey C-Fam, and welcome back to another video. I'm Mayfair.
And I'm Winston.
And we are
the Clements.
Yeah, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Obviously, make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you enjoy family content, us just documenting our journey, then subscribe and turn on your notifications so you find out all about that.
So today we're kind of talking about some of the baby essentials that we found most useful.
Yeah.
And I think this is a question that's been asked in many different ways in the comments that we've seen. So talking about which products you guys use the most, or what was in your hospital bag was a common question.
Yes.
So today we're going to be sort of unpacking what we have and what we find most useful now that Malika's here.
Yeah, so she's 3 months old, so we thought we kind of wanted to wait to see, okay, what are the items that we actually use most? Because I don't know about you, but I really enjoy watching videos to kind of get an idea of what to buy for baby, because if you're a new parent, it can be hard to know where to start. But I find it especially useful when people kind of talk about, like, in hindsight, the things that they really found to be essentials. So that's what we're going to be doing, and obviously with a lot of these things, I think everyone kind of has a different budget, so kind of it's not to say, okay, if you don't have these things, then it means anything about your parenting or anything like that. It's just hopefully going to be helpful content, but I'm sure you guys are resourceful. So if you see something that you like, but you're like, oh, hang on, I don't really think I have space for that or whatever, there's always alternatives. But these are the things that we found to be really useful in the first 3 months that we've had Malika, and we tried to put things on the list that we think will be useful even moving forwards. So we're going to share 5 of those.
And disclaimer, this is just a list that was useful for us.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's different.
In our situation, every family's different, every baby's different, but for us, this is what works best.
Yeah.
Awesome. So the first thing is a lounger. Did you get it, or were we gifted the lounger?
I actually bought the lounger.
You got the lounger. And it felt like, to me when I first saw it, it felt like a bit of a luxury item. So I was thinking, oh, okay, that'll be a nice thing to use once in a while. But it's actually become one of the things that she uses the most.
Yeah,
right?
Literally every day.
Yeah, she's on it every day. She loves spending time there. And I think not only is it comfortable for her, I think it also provides like a good way for her to be positioned almost anywhere. And I think we've even used it when we've gone to visit, for example, my sister.
Yeah.
So we've gone to her house, and because you don't know everyone's setup. Everyone's setup is different, especially when you're visiting with a baby. So you can't just, pop them on somebody's sofa, especially when they're this small. So the lounger has just been a great piece of equipment where we know that wherever we go, we can just take it with us, and she's got somewhere comfortable to sit where we know she's happy.
Yeah, exactly. The one that I bought actually comes with 2 covers, so you can always take it off and put it back on. It's just a really handy thing, so that if we're all kind of like chilling on the sofa, she has that. And obviously, I think especially in the first kind of like 3 months, but especially in the first few weeks, babies sleep a lot.
Yes.
So it can feel like you're just at home so that baby can sleep. But if you have the lounger, it means you can go out and see family if you want to, and it just means like she always has somewhere comfortable that she can sleep, and it's obviously really light and easy to kind of take with us wherever we go. So
yeah, definitely. And I think she even got a little bit addicted to it the first few weeks. So she'd actually refused to sleep in her proper cot because she wanted to be in the lounger. So I think for us that's another confirmation that it's something that she finds really comfortable, although now she's happy to switch and go back to the cot in the evenings.
Yeah, because I think if you think about it, like babies are used to like being like really like cozied up like in the womb, so it can be quite a lot like for a baby just expecting them to kind of sleep on a bare cot. But obviously make sure you get the info that you need about safe sleeping if you are sleeping baby wherever for the night. It's really important to get information on that, but yeah, the lounger was really useful for us. The second thing that we found really useful was a baby wearer. So you guys would have seen me wearing Malika in this in our videos, and whenever we're kind of doing stuff, and it's super comfortable for her. I think I saw a couple of comments saying, oh, she looks super tight in there, and well, first thing, our baby anyway is really good at letting us know when she isn't comfortable.
Go in your room.
or she isn't happy, and she's always really comfortable in that.
Yeah.
And I think I found it really useful because again, especially in the beginning, I always say like the fourth trimester is really a time where like you're both transitioning out of her, like baby being in the womb and you having the baby inside your womb. So I love the baby wearer because it kind of makes that fourth transition a little bit easier for baby and also for you, and it allows me to kind of do whatever I need to do whilst Malika feels like she's being held and really supported, and I also can get a cuddle in as well. And I just think it's really helpful, like especially for me, like with postpartum, all of the emotions that come, and you're kind of like hyper aware of making sure your baby is okay. So even like stepping out for 5 minutes to like clean the kitchen or whatever can feel like, oh my gosh, like is she okay? But if you have her right there in the wearer, the baby's fine. It brought a lot of comfort to me having her there as well. And it's literally just a piece of material, so we can take it with us wherever we go, or if there's somewhere where it's not very easy to get a pram in, we can take that. Another little tip as well is it's really good for strengthening your core.
What now, man? What now?
If obviously, like when you just had a baby, like you want to kind of be building up your core strength slowly. It's super comfortable for her, really easy to wear for me. There's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube as well on how you can actually do a baby wearer depending on your baby's age and size. I know I saw a couple of people asking for a tutorial. Maybe when we do a vlog, I can show you how I wrap her as a pretty small baby and a newborn. Let us know if you want to see it, but if you are in a rush, then just literally type on YouTube how to wear a baby wearer and then type your baby's age.
Yeah, definitely with the wearer on the bonding, I think that's really useful for both of you.
Yeah.
In terms of maintaining that connection. Now that she's, in the big wide world, I think that helps her feel supported and emotionally connected to you.
Yeah.
And I think it's also good, you mentioned about building your core and your strength. I think it's also useful for the baby as well.
Yeah.
For Malika to build up her strength.
Yes.
So I think one thing that we've noticed already, she's only 2.5 months old at this point, and even her neck strength is pretty good for a baby that small, and she's looking around and also just being in a different position, not just laying on her back and actually being upright. And nowadays, even when you're wearing her, she's not, just, head down. She's quite curious and she's looking around and she's quite interested in following new things that she sees or sounds that she sees. So I think it helps her both cognitively and physically as well with her strength.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that I've noticed the biggest difference with. Like in the first few weeks when I wore her in it, she'd just like snuggle up to my chest and not kind of face outwards. Now she's literally like always like looking around, like craning her neck. And it's a really good way to do tummy time. So obviously I think traditionally when we think about tummy time, we think about baby on a mat. But especially when they're little, tummy time is like any time when they're kind of like on their front instead. And also just another thing about a baby wearer is it can be really good if you are trying to establish breastfeeding or get help with breastfeeding. Anytime you're kind of having skin to skin contact, it kind of triggers your body and your hormones that, hey, there's a baby that we need to make milk for. So yeah, it can be really, really helpful for that too.
Yeah, definitely. The next thing on our list is the nappy bin. And I think this is one of the things that I advocate for.
You did.
From the beginning, it's one of those things that I, browsing and as well as reading about how other parents are using it, I thought that might be actually really useful for us. And I think, for me, I just struggle to imagine us disposing our nappies in a regular bin.
Yeah.
Especially, with our setup here in a small apartment.
Yeah.
Just potential to get quite messy, literally. So I think the one that we have is the Corbell.
Yeah, it's called a Corbell.
A Corbell, and it's pretty good. Like, whenever we change Malika and, we put all the stuff in the Corbell, literally it's perfect. We've never had any scent in the bedroom or anything like that.
It completely hides the smell, when it's clothes, which I was really shocked about, because I know some people say baby poos don't smell. They do have a scent.
I don't think my baby girl has smelly
Winston
poos.
says it.
Why the lying?
They do have a scent, and it's not a scent that I want to be smelling all the time, like when I'm trying to like relax in the morning and sleep. So it's really, really good at hiding the smell.
Yeah, maybe I'm biased, but yeah, definitely. And it's got those interchangeable bags as well.
Yeah, so it comes with like a
Like
few
a refill,
refillable bags
yeah.
that are really easy to do, and it means you don't constantly have to like take out the bag fully. In one of the videos we showed you how you can refill it. I'll show you real quick. Yeah, so basically it looks like this. Well, it looks like this when it's shut, and then you just open it up, you pull from here, and then it's got a cutter thing right here. So you just cut it, fold that up, chuck that in the bin, and then this just ties like that. And then you shut it. The other thing that I was kind of aware of is, one, because we have a smaller space before we kind of move, and I just try and be mindful about the different things that we bring into our house. Again, wouldn't say like we're minimalist, but I think we try and be intentional about the things that we bring into our house and not having like unnecessary things. And that was kind of the things that I was like with the nappy bin, like do we really like need it? Is it just an extra thing to have in our room? But it can really easily be turned into a normal bin when you come out of the nappy stage. But at the same
that's
time,
true.
Yeah, I think babies use nappies like for a long while, and it's something that you can always like sell again, like on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, if you get a good quality one. So 100% worth it, and super easy to not have to like go somewhere else to take her, like it's right next to her changing mat, so whenever we're changing her, it can just go straight in the bin, hides the smell, and it takes the pressure off of like having to like remove it like that very instant. So yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just imagining, when you've just had a newborn baby, and if we didn't have a nappy bin, knowing that you'd have to change the bins over
Every day, basically.
pretty much every day after you change the baby, I think that would have been a lot of pressure at a time when you should just be resting.
Yeah, as much as you can.
So yeah, I love that, and I love the point about it being, it can be reused for other things as well, and it keeps its value, because if you're planning on having another baby, you could just hold on to it until then. So definitely one of our better buys.
It's 100%. Cool. So the fourth thing is actually a double electric breast pump, and I say specifically double electric breast pump. I have the Mimby, which Mimby very kindly gifted me, but honestly this was a godsend, because we kind of knew like with our feeding journey that I wanted to be able to offer Malika a bottle so that Winston could help me out, and also if we wanted to just have like a night away or some time off, like that was doable. And a pump has been really, really useful for that, like for helping to increase my milk supply. And yeah, like I think I'm not like advocating for saying, okay, 100% definitely get like a pump straight away. But for me, it was really useful because we had some time in the hospital, so I wasn't able to be with Malika like as much as like I would have wanted to really like strongly establish breastfeeding, which did affect my milk supply, and Malika is still working on her latch. So having that breast pump, a really good one like Mimby's, has allowed me to protect my supply and actually build it up without the pressure of, oh my gosh, like Malika has to latch and catch this right now. And now I've actually been able to build a freezer stash, which is something that I didn't really think would be imaginable. And that means like whenever like if we want to go away for an afternoon, whatever, I have my mum look after her or someone else look after her, she has breast milk there available to her. And Mimby also have amazing bottles as well, just to add that. We've mentioned them previously. That means she can really easily interchange between bottle feeding and breastfeeding, so her latch has actually improved massively since we've been using Mimby's bottles, because they're actually designed to like mimic the motion that babies need to work on to actually like properly latch and draw out milk. So yeah, definitely recommend, like if it's not something that you want to buy beforehand, have this one on hand so you have the link, because the last thing you want to be doing when you're having breastfeeding or supply issues is doing research on the best pumps. Like Mimby's has 100% helped me with my milk supply, and I've tried it out for some time now, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and I think they gave us a link that we could share.
Oh yeah, they did give us a discount code, which we'll put up on the screen and also in the description, so make sure you use that so you can get a bit of money off too.
Yes, awesome. The last item that we have is the cot. So actually this cot was gifted to us by Mercy, but this cot has been really good, because I think our initial plan was to actually have Malika sleeping in a Moses basket
Yeah, well, we planned to, the Moses basket, we planned to just keep that in the lounge.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out where would be the best place.
Yeah, so we're trying to figure out with what her sleeping would look like. So this cot has been a godsend. And I think initially it took a bit of time for her to settle into a sleeping pattern.
Yeah.
I would say. I guess with figuring out the feeding, and also I think she's fallen in love with the lounger that we spoke about earlier as well.
And just being really close to us, I think.
Yeah, and she likes being closer to us anyway. But I think a couple of things that we really like was, first of all, that it's adjustable, which makes it accessible for me. So when I'm on night duty, so we can bring down the side of the cot, and that way I've got easy access to her if I want to give her a feed or even just soothe her.
Yeah.
Right, so I've got access to her that way. And it's also got that rocking feature as well.
Yeah, it's really easy to
which
rock.
I think is really cool. She likes that sometimes. So when she's, a little bit unsettled, you can literally rock her back to sleep. And then it's also got the adjustable incline thing.
Yeah.
So that way, after a feed, we can incline it so that her head is a little bit higher.
Yeah, which kind of helps with her digestion.
Helps with digestion and stuff, so that she's not bringing stuff back up.
Yeah, and I think also as well, for me, I gave birth to Malika via C-section.
Beautiful baby. Well done, mate.
Nice little crying sounds there. Lovely.
Oh, beautiful.
So obviously, like, you have to be really careful, like with bending and those sort of motions.
Yeah.
So having it being able to be adjustable was really helpful, because it meant that I could basically put it to a level where it was easy for me to kind of get to. And also the feature where you can kind of like bring down the side of the cot kind of makes her feel like she's like almost like right there with us, but we still get our bed. And then she can kind of like come in the morning, like when we do devotional and when we kind of just all hang out together. But I think that's really helpful, and it's like a nice in between, because I know different people feel differently about co-sleeping, but with that cot it's like you can basically get it pretty close to your bed. I think there's a way to even attach it so it can kind of like feel comforting for her, because she feels like she's like right there with us, and then also for us as well. But it means that our bed is still our bed.
Still get our space.
Yeah.
But yeah, it still feels like it's an extension of our bed.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, really helpful as actually an accessible cot. And then also if you have had a C-section or planning to have a C-section, it can be really good off, in terms of just taking the strain off of your front or even your back. Like I found that like my back was just, with a newborn, like you're constantly like bending to do different things, and you want to make sure you're protecting your back as much as possible. So
yeah, that way you're not like reaching over or reaching down. It's more like a straight transfer. Yeah, I think that's the last item we had on the list.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you are a new parent, or there's like anything that you were like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't live without this, definitely drop it in the comments. I'm sure it will help another parent or parent to be out, or even people who are wanting to buy gifts for new parents, or add it to their registry. And also just a massive thank you as well at this point for everyone who gave so generously to our registry for Malika, and friends and family. Like, we're still like overwhelmed by like how generous you guys have been, so we really are grateful for you guys.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. It's one of our favorite videos.
Yes.
And we're just so blown away by your kindness. Okay.
All right, see you in another video.
All right, have a good week.